Hello everyone. So in this topic we are going to talk about training of human resources. So this is one of the functions of the human resource department, training the human resources in the organization. So what do we mean by training? In simple words, training is a process whereby people acquire capabilities to perform jobs. So it is any process that is, say, it could be in the on-the-job training or out of the job training. So any sort of process where the employees gain some capabilities. Say employees might be called to a classroom and then they might be given a training on any particular task. So training categories are usually some comprises of the required trainings. Then we have technical trainings. Then we have interpersonal trainings. These are the various types of trainings that the organizations usually use uh, in case of the employees. So this figure summarizes the different types of training. So this is one way of defining the different types of trainings. Organizations can define trainings in other ways as well. So training is also related with organizational strategy. Say your organization is providing trainings to its employees on a regular basis, then it will make the employees better skilled. As a result, the competitiveness of the organization will also improve because the employees are going to perform better, so that will make the organization more competitive. So this figure shows us that how the organizational strategies are linked with training. So we have the organizational strategies, which determines the outcomes that need to be accomplished. For example, new employee skills need to be developed, or change needs to be accommodated, or continuous learning needs to be promoted. So we can ensure these by giving trainings to our employees. So this is one way of utilizing the trainings to achieve the organizational strategies. Training can also be a source of revenue because if the employees are doing trainings, or if other employees of other companies come to your company to get trainings, they will also pay. So that is a source of training. So training helps to improve the performance of the employees. So the employees are given trainings based on their lackings in the performance. Organizations have different types of people leading the trainings. For example, some organizations use the job title Chief Learning Officer. So this person leads the training in section of the organization. Trainings are related with global strategies as well. Say you are thinking one of your employees have the capability to take up a leadership position in your organization. So as a result, you will be thinking of giving that person trainings to groom that person up. Trainings are also required for intercultural issues. Suppose that employee whom you want to send to other countries to acquire new knowledge, that person will also need training to get used to the culture of the other countries. So these are the components of the intercultural competence and the possible trainings. You do not need to know this in details. So when organizations arrange training, they need to think about certain issues. Like first of all, is the training really needed or not? Because it will incur costs for the organization. Then who needs the training? Who will do the training? That is, who will provide the training? What type of training will be provided? How the knowledge will be transferred, and how the training will be evaluated. So the first one that is related with training needs assessment. So this is a process whereby the training needs are assessed. So your employees who need training, this is identified by looking at their knowledge, skills, and abilities, their competencies, and the required competencies in the organization. So if it is seen that they lack in their competency level, then they are going to be given the trainings. So for example, in your finance department, your employee needs to have knowledge about the financial software, but your employee doesn't have that knowledge, so that is a gap in the skills. So this is a training need for the employee. So based on that, the trainings are designed. That means how the trainings will be provided, what training will be provided, and then the training is delivered. And once the training is delivered, that is after the training programs are over, then an evaluation is done to understand how well the training has been. So these are the sources of information that are used for the training needs assessment. It could be organization-wide, job-wide, or individual employee-wide. So based on that, the training objectives are set. That is based on the lackings in the employees. The training objectives are set that these are the objectives for which the person needs the training. Then the training is designed in that area. Certain things are taken into consideration. For example, the learner readiness. So is the employee ready to attend the training or not? uh, how well the employee will be able to receive the contents of the training? These things are taken into consideration. Then the learning styles, and also the learning transfer. So learning styles will vary from person to person. Say for some person, a lecture method is more appropriate. For another person, hands-on training is more appropriate. It will also vary from job to from one job to another job. And thirdly, the transfer of training. So has the training been transferred to the employee or not? Has the knowledge been transferred to the employee or not? Then comes the delivery of the training. So when the training is delivered, that is the execution of the training, certain things are taken into consideration. That is the nature of the training, the subject matters, number of trainees, all these things are looked at and decision needs to be taken. So for example, the number of trainees, it will vary and it is a crucial factor. We cannot have too many participants in a training program at the same time, then that will hamper the quality. So if there are too many participants, then the participants will not be able to have enough interaction with the trainer. So that will create problem for the participants as well as for the trainer. So trainings are provided in various ways. It could be informal training. That means when an employee is working on the job, so the supervisor will guide the employee that how the employee should do the work. So that is one form of training for the employee. So this figure shows the stages of the on-the-job training. So first the trainees are prepared, then information is given to the trainees, and then the trainees, the employees are made to practice, and then finally the supervisor follows up that how will the employee has learned. Employees might be sent outside the organization as well for training purpose. So they might be sent to some other uh, institutions where they will attend maybe a day long or 2 days long training program. Trainings can be outsourced as well. That means a trainer from outside the organization might conduct the training for the organization. So the whole thing is outsourced to that person or to that institution. So sometimes a combination of training approaches are used because this gives a better quality of knowledge transfer to the employees. That means, say, on the job as well as classroom method might be used at the same time. So a person is first given a lecture for one day, suppose a group of participants, and then the person might be taken outside the classroom for 2 days to give hands-on knowledge on the hands-on experience and knowledge on the job, on the task that the person is supposed to do. So we are also familiar with orientation. Orientation is another form of training as well. So when new employees join the company, they go through an orientation program. It could be a one-day program, or it could be 2 days, 3 days, or maybe one week. So during this orientation program, the new employees are given information about the organization and about the different processes in the organization. Next, we have this e-learning, which is now very common. We can see a lot of people doing learning online, which is e-learning. So, a lot of trainings are also conducted online. These participants attend the training programs, they attend the lectures, and they attend the exercises online, and then the participants are given the feedback on their performance. So a new approach is getting popular day by day, which is called blended learning. So in this blended learning, the person learns both through uh, interactive computer-based lessons and also through traditional classroom instructions like through teleconferencing. So we have advantages and also disadvantages of e-learning. You can see over here the advantages and the disadvantages. So advantages means it can be self-paced, it is interactive. These are the advantages. It also allows the trainers to update content. So these are the things. And the disadvantage is the major problem is it can create anxiety and stress in the trainees because they are learning online. They can't actually have any face-to-face interactions. In order to have a good e-learning process, certain things are necessary. For example, the top management's participation and top management's cooperation is necessary. So these are the things that are necessary mostly, and the cooperation of the participant as well. So the next part is evaluation of the trainings. Now, when we are doing the trainings, we are actually investing a lot of things. The participants are investing their money, and the company is also investing its time. So, as a result, we should evaluate the trainings and whether it has been successful or not. So, the trainings can be evaluated by finding out the reaction of the participants or by looking at the learning, how will they have learned, or whether there has been any change in their behavior or not, or whether there has been any change in the results of the employees who have attended the training or not. So this figure shows us that if we go from reaction to results, the measurement becomes more difficult. However, the value to the organization is also higher if we can measure the results of the training compared to the behavior or compared to the learning, like in that. So training evaluations are done using certain things like cost benefits of the employee of the training program. So we measure the costs and the benefits. So these are some examples of the costs and the benefits of the training programs. So by measuring the costs and the benefits and comparing them, we can understand that whether the trainings have been successful or not. So training measures are usually done by post measure, that is after the trainings companies measured the success, the results, or it could be a pre and post measure. These. So that's it from this topic. Uh, Thanks to you.